half marathon or something. Interesting. These are the scriptures. Actually, these are 3 of the scriptures that were chosen for today's lectionary reading. There's actually 4, but you guys have already done the 4th one. You know what that is, right? It was the call to worship, the passage from Isaiah. So today, the first day of Advent 2013, I start preaching from the lectionary. For 16 months I have done topical preaching, and today we began with the lectionary. But actually, the lectionary has given us a topic. Have you figured out what it is? Keeping watch. So amazing. That's why you're in the front row, A+ student, right? Keeping watch. And it's interesting, you know, as we enter this season, if you're like me, somewhere around September, you find yourself saying, what? They're advertising Christmas already? You ever do that? It's like, it's not even Halloween yet, and they're advertising Christmas. And then you can see that all of this is motivated by economics, right? And every year, everything creeps forward. It creeps forward. Before you know it, it'll be January the 2nd, and they'll be advertising Christmas for 2014 or something. You know, and every year, the Black Friday starts a little earlier, doesn't it? This year it started, what, 6 p.m.? Toys R Us were open at 8 a.m. in the morning on Thanksgiving. You can't even celebrate Thanksgiving with your family. You got to go sell toys, right? And you know that if you don't buy those toys on Thursday, they're still going to be there Friday. Of course, the thing that gets me is if you can just wait till January, everything's cheap. But this is the way this season is. There's this anticipation. You know, for those of us who teach school for a living, we anticipate having a couple of weeks off. You know, a little break from teaching. You know how it is as kids are. They anticipate the coming of Santa Claus or the getting of gifts, whether they believe in Santa Claus or not. I think we probably anticipate getting together with family and friends and having nice meals. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that all of you are really anticipating the choir's cantata on December the 22nd, along with the children's program, right? So there's many wonderful things to look forward to, you know, summer sausage and, you know, Chex Mix and apple cider or all of these things, right? Russian tea, decorating the Christmas tree, having cookies, all those things have this sense of anticipation to them. But there's also that sense of dread, right? Traffic. Terry made a mention of the fact that he hasn't entered a business over the Black Friday weekend, so no lines to fight and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So there's always that dread that comes along with the season. And yet, I think it's kind of, not ironic, I think maybe it's by design, that's exactly kind of the way Advent is as well. There should be this sense of anticipation. And you're thinking, well, Jesus was born, you know, 2,000 or so years ago, so we're not really waiting for him to come. But yes, we are. And actually, as I, you know, looked over the readings for today, did you notice that that's exactly what the readings are about? Not about the first coming, but about the second coming. Isaiah 2, 1 through 5 talks about salvation coming out of Jerusalem and about Jerusalem being a light to the nations. What do you think he's talking about there? I'm sure he's not talking about the politics in the modern state of Israel. I mean, I could be wrong. But in my personal opinion, probably not. What do you think he means? What is this mountain of the Lord, this salvation, this light to the Gentiles that comes out of Jerusalem that he's talking about? Notice how in Romans 13, verses 11 through 14, what does he say? He says, we do not know, but now is the moment for you to wake up from sleep, for salvation is nearer to us now than when we became believers. night is far gone, the day is near. Let us then lay aside the works of darkness. Let us put aside the works of darkness. Why? Salvation is closer, which means we need to be in a state of watchfulness. Readiness. Preparation. Ready to receive our Lord. Thought maybe he was coming already. It's not mine. But it does have a nice Christmassy sound to it. You hate that one? Okay. I was thinking jingle. I mean, it's not Jingle Bells, the song, but it sounds like, you know.
Don't shoot on the church.
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am.
I'm waiting. I'm anticipating.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. We walk in the light of the Lord. From Jerusalem comes salvation. We put aside deeds of darkness. What are we doing? We're living in a state of anticipation. We're living in a state of preparation. We're watching for Christ's return, as he told us in Matthew 24, the gospel reading for today. To watch, for we know not when he will return. Do you know this song that we usually sing at Christmas time? It goes something like, joy to the world, the Lord has come. Let earth receive her King, right? Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing in heaven, right? Notice that last stanza as well. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his love. Is that right? Glories of his righteous, right? Wonders of his love. Thank you. Did you know that this hymn was not written for Christmas? Really? This is not a Christmas hymn. What was it written for? The second advent, the second coming. Think about how the words apply to the return of Christ. Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Now, we sing this song often in anticipation of Christmas and thinking of, you know, the coming of baby Jesus born in a manger. Born wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger and all that. But actually, the image of the author's intention was the glorious return of Christ. And notice the element of joy that springs forth from this hymn. Joy to the world, the Lord has come. For those of us who are prepared, it will be a time of excitement and joy and anticipation. Kind of like those children, like when I was a little boy and I couldn't sleep all night on Christmas Eve. You know what that was like? I used to wake up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and 3 o'clock in the morning, and 4 o'clock in the morning, and I, finally just about daylight, run out there to see what was under the tree. That anticipation. But for those who have not made preparation, for those who are not ready, perhaps it will be a time of dread. It is our job to inform them of the coming of the Lord so that they will be ready, so that it will not be a time of dread for them. So Advent, this time that begins today with the wearing of the purple vestments and the purple pyramids here that Sue in her faithfulness continues to do for us and make sure we're on track with these things. These are a reminder of us to prepare our hearts, not just for the Christmas season, but for the return of our Lord. Now is not just the time of preparation, but it is also the time for setting things in order. For we do not know when the time will come. Just like no one knew the time of his first coming. It all comes down to this. When he returns, will we be ready? Will we be ready? It is.